What's up, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of Blacks in Motion right here at BVN at 8. And as always, it's your sports guy, Cliff, here giving you the hottest news in sports out there right now. And the hottest thing to me is the NBA. And the hottest team is none other than the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors. Look, these guys have set a record. They are now the fastest team to reach 50 victories ever. They seem to be putting a lot of pressure on that 1995-96 team of the Chicago Bulls. Look, I'm here today to give a small comparison and kind of give you an insight to who I think is the better team. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And I'll start off with the Young Bucks. Start off with the Golden State Warriors. Look, these guys are the defending champs, like I said. They're doing it like nobody else is doing it so far. They are killing everybody. Doing it with the three-point shot. They're doing it with ball handling. And they're doing it with creative lineups. But they're led by the current reigning MVP, Steph Curry. Look, this guy has amazing ball handling skills, and he's probably the best shooter in the NBA right now. His range literally starts when he comes into the gym. The team also features his splash brother, Klay Thompson. This guy is probably the second best shooter in the league. He just won the three-point contest. And if you have both of those guys on the team, it's going to be hard to stop them. But the surprise superstar on their team right now is forward, center, all-around versatile guy, Draymond Green. Look, this guy's an undersized center, but he's able to play great defense on the other big men in the league, which allows him to stay on the floor and then do things on the offensive end like stretch the floor, shoot the three-point, that makes them even more dangerous as a team. I mean, they talking about getting rid of some of their centers and other players on the team because they can't get on the court for playing time behind this guy. Now, it's all put together by somewhat of a new mastermind. That's Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Look, this guy, they got rid of Mark Jackson, brought him in. A lot of people are sour. I'm a little sour. It was a team that Mark Jackson built. But I'm going to tell you what, though. He did put them over the edge and take them to a championship caliber team. Steve Kerr is a mastermind. I mean, he hurt his back. He was out for the first part of the season, and they still were winning. So, ironically, the team I want to talk about, the 95-96 Bulls, Steve Kerr was a part of that team. He won championships with that team. So, yes, we all know 72-10. Only team to win 70 games and a team to win the most games ever in a season, 72. Those Bulls, of course, was headlined by none other than his airness, Michael Jordan. I don't need to go on about him. We already know about his greatness. A lot of people underestimate their own Mr. Versatility, Scottie Pippen. This guy was one of the first people in the league to be able to guard defensively. Positions 1 through 4. He had this long, lanky arms, long range, wingspan, and then he was a playmaker on the offensive end of the court, later on developing a three-point shot and literally becoming the best player in the league for a few short years. They also had on that team the wild man, Dennis Rodman. You know, we had our taste of Dennis Rodman down here in San Antonio, and I loved it. But look, he won championships 3 with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, the Worm, he was a defensive specialist. He was also able to guard guys that was bigger than him from the forward position, and he was the rebounding king. I mean, that's the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame, because of his rebounding. Now, of course, they were led by head coach Phil Jackson, the Zen master. Now he's an executive up there with the New York Knicks, but this guy makes champions, period. You put him on the team, he's going to win. He won with Chicago, he won with LA. I mean, you name it. You put him at the helm, he's going to figure out a way to get the best out of any type of roster that he has. Now for the comparison. Offensively, yeah, I'm going to give the heads up a little bit to the Golden State Warriors only because they're such a threat from the outside, something that the Chicago Bulls didn't have. But please believe I edged them out just a little bit because the Bulls have Michael Jordan. I mean, any given time, he can take over the game. 30, 40, 50, 60 points, didn't matter, and you couldn't stop him. Now, defensively, I give the edge to the Chicago Bulls. A lot of people underestimate and forget that Michael Jordan was a defensive player of the year before. And like I said, with Scottie Pippen, those guys can lock down any backcourt. I mean, there was nothing you can do. And they also had oversized point guard Ron Harper during that year. There was just too much length out there on the wings. You couldn't do anything with them. Now, the coaching is kind of hard Because I see a guy in Steve Kerr who's coached his team to the fastest 50 wins, but then I also see Phil Jackson with double-digit championships under his belt. So I have to give it to Phil just because of tenure. So I know you've been listening to me for the last few minutes. You're saying, Cliff, so what do you think? Who's the best? Right now, I have to still give it to the Chicago Bulls. Why? Because most of the things they did are already in the book, stamped, printed, ink is dried. I think Golden State is just getting started. If they're able to dominate in their era, just like those Bulls teams did back then I think the conversation will heat up. But for right now, the crown for best team of NBA all time in one single season still goes to the 95-96 Bulls. Now, look, I already know y'all saying Cliff is tripping. Have you seen what Steph and them do? And I know some of y'all are out there be like, Cliff know exactly what he's talking about. That's most of y'all. I know. Either way, I want to hear from you. Go ahead, leave a comment on this video or contact me, Cliff@blackvideonews.com. And as always, stay logged on and love us right here at Blacks in Motion.